Hey folks, it's your intrepid warrior, David Lanjuli with fundraisingleadership.org, and I am here with my good friend and colleague, Margaret Katz-Kann. Hey, Margaret.
Hey, I want to be an intrepid warrior too, David.
Ooh, you are an intrepid warrior.
Maybe even a ninja.
You're
Ooh,
actually a ninja coach, and we both are. And
yes.
that's what we want to talk to folks about today. Like, what you're seeing this video because you're on the landing page for a coaching course and you're thinking about whether or not you should get your credit card out and pay for this program. So we're going to share with you how coaching helped us as leaders and managers when we were leading and managing teams in the nonprofit world. So why don't we have a conversation about that, Margaret?
That sounds like a good plan. It sure
Yeah.
helped me, David, when I was leading a team.
What
I,
what what can you remember? I mean, it's a few years ago for both of us because now we are both certified professional coaches and we do coaching for a living. But
yeah,
let's just if we could be like Dr. Strange and get our crystal and go back in time to the yesteryear when
yeah,
we were both leading fundraising teams in the nonprofit world. So what do you remember about um, how coaching helped you?
yeah. This is that makes me laugh actually to think about this, but I have a before and an after, and I'm going to say my leadership style before um, might have looked more like having a really deep attachment to I'd be in a meeting and we'd have a project or a problem to solve, and I might have a very deep attachment to what an answer might be or what a solution might be. But I had heard like, oh, I'm supposed to empower my team and let them come up with ideas. And so I might have I was trying to rein them in and get them towards where I thought we should end up. And I don't think that turned out to be as empowering, David, as I
Wait,
had
well,
read.
what happened when you started to take the when you stopped asking leading questions and
Right.
pointing them where you wanted them to go? What
Yes.
happened? Like, what happened?
Yeah, when I started learning some of these skills, I found that I could come in and just be super curious. I could be really open to other people's perspectives. I had skills on how to ask questions to help somebody really deepen a good, promising idea that they might have had to really make a contribution.
Yeah, I like what you say there, Margaret, because um, one of the contexts or one of the skills that coaches use and leaders and managers who incorporate coaching skills use is something we call powerful questions. And those are kind of big open-ended questions that you truly are curious about the answer to. They're not leading question. You're not leading the
Yes.
witness, as we say, right?
It's a big deal. You're not playing the game of inception, trying to get
Yeah,
somebody towards, yes.
yeah. So that is one of the things we will be training in the program. And I know for me, I am a high D with a little I on the disc profile. And so I tend to like to tell people what to do.
Nobody has ever said that about you, David. Not once
Never,
ever.
never, never. My mom was a high D and also a danger. That's another context from our leadership program. And she would love to tell people what to do. I guess I picked that up from her. And
Yeah, we all learn these things honestly, don't we?
yeah, I mean, I was a director several times in my professional life. So director begins with D, and people expect you. This is the other thing. It actually creates dependency
Mm,
when you, as a leader or manager, uh, are always suggesting what to do.
yeah.
It actually creates employees that are dependent, not independent.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you say more about how that might have manifested in some of the teams that you would be working with? What did your
Oh my
teams look
God,
like?
it is exhausting. Everyone comes to you for the answer once you create this monster called dependent employees. And some people like
Right.
that. There's some people like, it's an ego trip for them to be able to be the person with all the answers. I can
Right.
tell you that that was exhausting having people come to you all the time. You actually
Right.
create that. I created that.
Yeah.
And when I went and got my own coach training, it was such a relief, literally a huge relief, just to be able to say, I don't know, what do you think? And mean it, even if I did know. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm fessing up to it.
Sure. Well, it's not about knowing or not knowing, right? Sometimes it's actually about creating
Yeah.
more there in participation from your team. So what changed, what shifted when you stopped creating dependency?
Well, it created space for me to be more creative and for people who reported to me to be more creative. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just like one thing I'm remembering. There were so many. I mean, maybe we could talk a little bit more. Another thing I remember very distinctly is when I learned like to listen. Well, let's just stop there. I have just become a better listener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an important skill for a manager, right?
Yeah.
Director, leader, all of it.
And the good news is for folks who are considering signing up for the program, and if they've ever done any fundraising, they already have some good listening skills. We're just going to help them sharpen it and actually amplify how they listen. It's kind of an inverse word use of the word amplify, but we're actually going to help them be better attuned in their listening.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I love that. And it's so funny and ironic when we think about how much work we put into hiring people on our teams and, looking through scores of resumes and looking for people who will really contribute to the team and bring their skills and their perspectives. And then, for me, again, I found that the coaching skills let me really be open to all of those brilliant people that I had hired for my team rather than hiring brilliant people and then not being open to their brilliance.
Right. I like that. And just coming back to listening for a moment, one thing that I found super helpful was listening for when people were stuck. Listening for when people are stuck. We do this in our professional coaching work and with clients, but I already started using that. It was like one of the things that really clicked for me in the coach training was like just listening for it. And then instead of like jumping in with suggestions or possible solving problems, it's like when people are stuck, the role of the coach, when you put your coach hat on, is to hear that and then help them explore other perspectives around their stuckness, as opposed to trying to solve it right then and there,
Yeah. What that brings up for me is sort of this permission. It gives permission in your team for people to contribute, even if they have an idea that isn't fully formed yet.
Right.
It really gives space for somebody to have an idea about an idea or a whiff or a flavor of something cool. And it creates an environment where we can work with them to coax out a fuller picture or help them create and design a solution by asking questions and really listening and giving them permission to pause and be stuck with an idea.
Right. Well, you do a lot of work. I'm aware because of some of our co-leading that we do together that you ask people a lot of questions like, where do you sense that in your body? Now that's kind of a weird question if you've never heard it before, but that is totally like a coaching type of question. And sometimes, as we know from yoga and from other disciplines, the body has information in it. So why don't you say a little bit more about like how folks could find information and get unstuck when they listen to their bodies?
Yeah, and I will say actually that journey of listening to my body has certainly been tied to my coaching training.
Mhm.
And I would say before that, I was a person who really lived much more in my head. I don't want to throw my head under the bus because I need it still. And there's a lot of good stuff that happens in there.
Right.
But yeah, I'm really learning that our bodies don't lie. Right? If your body gets a sense about something, it's worth listening to. There's such huge wisdom in our bodies. And so yeah, through coaching, I help people try to find that. And
Right.
it's a skill that we can help other people learn too.
Yeah. So was there anything else you wanted to say about it? I mean, for me, I got so excited about the coaching work that, here we are today as
Yeah.
coaches, and we're going to help train other leaders now and managers to incorporate some of these skills in the program. This is how deeply touched I was by this work. What about you?
Yeah. I feel like the word that pops into my mind is flow.
Mhm.
As a leader and as a manager, I feel like some of these coaching skills is a way to get in really great flow with your team.
All right, guys. Well, if you want to get into flow, come join us in the program. We're looking forward to help you flow. All right, take care.
All right.